Okay. Now I'm rolling.
Boom 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 ba-dum, They stopped playing, but that's how that one goes.
So,
Boom.
what's your name?
Hi, I'm Jeff Zahos.
Jeff, what do you do here at the Krannert Center for the Performing Arts?
I do a lot of things here at the Krannert Center for the Performing Arts. I perform as a musician and other things. And I also do audio work. I work for Krannert Center Audio.
Where are we right now?
We are in the Follinger Great Hall recording booth. Should I be looking at you or the camera?
Either one. Some people look at the camera, some people have looked at me. So, mostly I'll just try to stay behind the camera and then you won't be confused. You can just look at me then.
Right, except that if you're too close to the camera, people will think that I'm looking at a teleprompter or some silly scripted thing, you know? So
No,
whereas
I don't
like,
think they'll think that based on what you're saying and your patterns of speech.
okay, when Barbara Walters does an interview, they speak at Barbara.
Right. Well, do you want me to stand over here and just speak at me? Because that works for us too.
Only if I can call you Barbara.
You can call me Barbara.
Okay. Did you see the Charles Manson interview with Barbara Walters? Crazy.
You just looked at the camera.
I know. Did you ever see the Barbara Walters Charles Manson interview? Crazy.
So, Jeff,
Yes.
what can you tell us about the Great Hall? What makes it great?
Well, the thing that makes the Great Hall great is the people who named it the Great Hall.
That's awesome. Can you turn off the music at this point?
Yes.
All the way? Because Doc's probably going to want to put in some underscoring and it might conflict with that.
All right. That was a joke. Is there going to be some editing done on this?
Oh, we're going to use like 5 seconds of each
Right,
person.
right.
You're just going to like have one line in it.
So all the funny stuff I really shouldn't worry about.
Right.
Although,
It's going to be a 5-minute video and we're doing like 12 interviews.
yeah,
so.
yeah. Okay. Okay. So, a lot of times the simple answer to what makes the Great Hall great is the acoustics. I would argue that that is a part of the picture. That there are a whole lot of other factors that include the environment, just the feeling of the space, a large part of which is actually the acoustics. It's surprising how much architectural acoustics affect the way we feel in a space, you know, even if it's not a performance space, just a room. But also the lighting and the way that the colors of the room, the fabric of the chairs, the color of the butternut paneling, just everything about it is sort of this very, it's like being inside of like a beautifully crafted guitar or violin or something, if we were very miniature people, like people thought when they heard the first phonograph. I've heard stories where people like freaked out because they were like thought there were little people crammed in the box and they couldn't figure it out.
Awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, so the Great Hall is great because of the acoustics, the atmosphere, the performance amenities, the size of the backstage areas, the proximity of bathrooms. I mean, like little silly things that seem kind of dumb but like the fact that there's a great rehearsal room right down the hallway that, you know, is a similar size and kind of feeling to the Great Hall stage, like the fact that it's integrated within the performing arts, the larger Krannert Center, is also really cool. Here's another thing that makes it great. It's in Champaign, Illinois. You will not find a concert hall that's anywhere near the league of this concert hall outside of a major metropolitan area in most cases. I don't know that there is another one. People talk about the hall in Michigan, but like certainly a modern hall, like a non-proscenium, just big box concert hall. There aren't many like that aren't in Vienna, Boston, Cleveland, Berlin, Sydney, or Los Angeles. You know what I mean? Like, so Champaign's got a nice one.
That's awesome.
Score another one from Micro Urban, Mike Ross. Yeah. Okay.
I had the next question in mind before you did that.
Sorry.
No, that's good. Yes. You've spent a lot of hours in this building. Have you experienced anything otherworldly, or what you would call haunted?
Well, I can see that this is a very scientific process here. Boy. Well, I know one thing. There's a ghost light on every stage. Boy. No. I'm not so well attuned to the supernatural. At least in as much as metaphysics or whatever. I've experienced some transcendent musical moments for sure on that stage and on others. Yeah.
Is there a mysticism that just goes along with the experience of the Great Hall?
I think so. For me, definitely. Because I grew up like, sort of. This was like it was like a place of worship. It was like I got to go here and play here when I was in high school. After my freshman year? Yeah, after my freshman year. Or no, during my freshman year, whatever. Because my high school band director got his master's degree here with Harry Bejian, who's like this very important band director guy. And so he brought us here just to do a clinic with the director of bands, and it was a fun tour. We played a recording session. And that was like coming to Mecca for the first time for me. But, and because I'd like grown up, I've read like my Krannert Center book. I wrote like 2 papers on the Krannert Center when I was in high school and middle school. I was a little bit not healthy, and I listened to recordings. I found all the recordings I could find that I knew were recorded here, and I listened to them and listened to recordings in other halls and kind of compared, you know, same pieces or maybe the same orchestra, and a lot of the U of I band recordings. And so coming here was kind of like this crazy experience of feeling this space and hearing it and seeing if it matched up or, you know, actually went beyond my expectations. So that said, for me, yes, there's a certain sort of mysticism, sort of spiritual experience with it. You know, it's an uplifting thing to like be in such a unique space. And that is something that even for people who come here maybe as graduate students who went to a good music school and like, you know, they had a good music school, they had good faculty, good instruments, maybe even a good hall, it's something that usually dawns on them, if not very quickly, at some point in their time here. They're like, whoa, this place is special. And I have that conversation with people all the time, or I overhear people talking about it. So, anyway.
Cool. Do you have anything to say about the artistic community or the Krannert Center community that's surrounding this space?
Yeah, man. The Krannert Center is awesome because it is a space that fosters community. Like, okay, I'm going to make a rant. In the 21st century, we have all kinds of ways of connecting. but I feel like the face-to-face and the physical touch is still, and probably always will be, the most powerful way for community building. And the fact that the Krannert Center is here and has dance, opera, music, theater, help me out here. What
Education.
else? Yeah, I mean education. Yeah, right alongside all the touring stuff that comes through. Resident, resident productions like in theater and opera and stuff, but also like groups that come here to develop pieces, do residencies, artists in residency. Like that is amazing. That is huge. That we as students get to participate in that, and that it brings together all these people from all these different disciplines, professionals and students alike, and creates a really interesting community. I've been at other schools or another school where there wasn't such a space, and there was a real like divide socially, administratively, and that trickles down to artistic divide and like lack of community. And so this space really does foster artistic community.
We're gonna use something from that, probably.
Okay.